Others meet you by your mood. Inspired by this quote here from Neville, in which he says, "Feel a new mood rise within you. Sustain it, and soon you will meet people who embody this new state." So my relationships have been my greatest teachers. For example, there was a time in my life where I felt incomplete. And as a result of this incompletion feeling, that's how I would describe it, a feeling of incompletion, it would play out in my relationships. And I would see the relationship with them from that perspective because within myself I was identifying with a belief. As we discussed in Thursday's video, what do we say I am to now? Reality is what we suggest to ourselves now. So when I acknowledge that the behaviors that were playing out with others in a wide array of relationships were a result of what I was identifying with, although at a certain time I wasn't aware that I was identifying with this. What we're taught with Neville's work is the answers. Everything exists within imagination. As I had suggested to myself a while back, I created an autosuggestion that said, all answers are within. I have the ability to discover the answers within. Upon my relationships and experiences with others, it is easy for me to identify what I am identifying with. And as I acknowledged this way of being, I started to notice a heightened degree of awareness. As he says here, everything is a manifestation of the mental conversations which go on in us without our being aware of them. So I became more aware of them by suggesting to myself that I can be more aware of them as a result of reflecting upon the experiences in my relationships, and then upon bringing conscious awareness as to what I was once unconscious to. I then further realized the power of what he says here. Do not try to change people. They are only messengers telling you who you are. Revalue yourself, and they will confirm the change. And I put off that former conversation. As he says here, feel a new mood rise within you. Sustain it, and soon you will meet people who will embody the state. So if everything is a manifestation of the mental conversations, we consciously choose the mental conversations, and we think feelingly, we feel the reality in relation with others. I am complete inside, and others reveal that mood, that feeling of completion inside. So another way of saying this is others inspire us. They are inspiring us to be how we truly desire to be. Accepting that suggestion, we actually enjoy our relationships. So I've had these conversations many times with my clients. Although we speak about business initiatives, once in a while they'll share with me about their dating life. And one of the things they used to say to me before was that dating was stressful. And I would ask myself, what within myself is creating this experience in which they are revealing to me about the experience that they're having? That if I further encourage that way of thinking within myself, it shall be the way it plays out and also the way it plays out in their life. And we're taught to imagine others lovingly. And so what is a lovely state? Well, they seem to be suggesting to me that they want to enjoy their dating life. They want their dating life to be fun, flow, ease, bliss. So upon bringing awareness to that, an idea showed up within awareness. And it was a suggestion of others inspire us wherever we go. They're inspiring us to be how we truly desire to be. And from accepting that suggestion, the mood changed. And what I notice in my life, and they report this to be the same, is any form of relationships with others is experienced as harmonious because it was released, the identification to that state in which it was described as unnecessary stress and frustration. So again, the world is a magic circle of infinite possible mental transformation. For there are an infinite number of possible mental conversations. And so we select a mental conversation, and we think feelingly, and we feel the mood, as he says here. Sustain it, and soon you will meet people who will embody the state, which is how it played out for them and how it plays out for me. And so we start with I, as he says. The I has neither face, form, nor figure, but it does mold itself into structure by all that it consents to, all that it believes. I, awareness. Now we are more aware of the mental conversations which go on in us, which at perhaps one point we were not aware of. So the changing of the feeling of I is a selective thing, but I is not the state. So we are transcendent to the state. We are transcendent to the beliefs, and we have the opportunity, as we relate with each other, to be aware of what we are identifying with. And as he says, everything is a manifestation of the mental conversations which go on in us. We put off the former conversation, and we say something to ourselves that implies that we are that person now. And I would suggest in coming up with whatever statement works for you. For example, you would say, I feel inspired being around others. I feel inspired in conversation with others. I feel harmonious relationships with others wherever I go. And so then, as he says here, the I believes itself to be the state when it enters and fuses with it. So that becomes our state of mind. And as he says, the question, what should be done between the assumption of the wish fulfilled and its realization? Nothing. And so that's because we've completely entered into another state. And so upon reflection of my experience and conversations I had with others about the same experience, what they would notice was their relationships in their life became more harmonious. And in the context of dating and relationships, the dating experiences changed. As he says here, soon you will meet people who embody this new state. So what we noticed was the relationships with the same people that they were dating changed. They became more fun, joyous, blissful, and whatever was brought to the surface, as he says here, they are only messengers telling you who you are. If there was any belief that played out in the relationship, you now have awareness on it, and you suggest to yourself how you truly desire to be, what you love. And as we continue this journey, we realize that all those changes, everything that occurs, happens via the power of the subconscious mind, beyond conscious awareness. As he says, everything happens automatically. All that befalls you, all that is done by you, happens. And so what we do is we select our mood, recognizing that the I has neither face, form, nor figure, but it does mold itself into structure by all it consents to, all that it believes. So we suggest to ourselves what we consent to. We suggest to ourselves what we believe. And then the I believes itself to be the state when it enters and fuses with it. And we feel it in the moment. And from there, everything happens naturally. Others show up to reflect that mood within us. Our behaviors, what we say, what we do, what we don't do, happens naturally and effortlessly. And to support this, let's look at this quote. Sea of ideas, the radio, television, gossip. If what we observe calls forth an emotion, we have reacted, and there's nothing to fear in imagination. Accept the suggestion of love and feel the love within you. As he says, it is important to remember that not all thoughts are creative. Only those which are believed to be true or which are joined with feeling. So we have the power to select any mood. And in relationship with others, we select the mood, and from that mood, you will soon meet people who embody this new state. So the example shared today is true for any kind of relationship. I've changed my relationship with my father to be more loving and experience it in the interaction. So I trust you found this video to be helpful in your relationships. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You can say, all power exists within me. I find it easier to select the inner conversation from the premise of my ideal. I think feelingly and value my relationships with others from the perspective of love and mutual harmony. From this premise, everything happens effortlessly, naturally, and automatically in my day-to-day life and relationships with others. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.